Let's get started!
Oh hey there Mrs. Mindlayer. I gotta ask. Did you notice how muscular Starfishman is in the previous chapter? I mean just look at this. This guy's always been a bit on the fat side, but over here he's got the superhero physique. It's like he ate all the steroids in the hospital. Hey, are you even listening?
No.
Never mind, I'm gonna start the rant now. Okay, here we go. MHA chapter 407. It's a flashback chapter featuring the origin story of Mr. Demon Lord and his majestic big ass forehead. Anyways, do take note that this video will not be a full recap. We are just gonna be ranting about things that don't make sense. But before we start, I'd like to point out something very important first. So back in chapter 377, Handyman regained control of his real body back. And now it's already chapter 407. Yeah. It's been literally 30 chapters since then. 30 whole chapters have already passed and he hasn't done a single noteworthy thing against the heroes. Just literally a pure 30 chapters of nothing from his side, which is literally already double the chapter count of the entire MLA arc. Holy sh**. And to make matters even more sillier, take note that chapter 377 is released way back in January 7th, 2023. And now it's already November 20. That means there's only 48 more days to go until Handyman officially reaches 1 year of doing nothing. And also one more thing. I'd like to remind everyone that Lord Explosion Murder is dead for 40 chapters. Yeah right, just let you guys do the math for this one. Because it's time for the real manga chapter rant. Okay. Here we go. So about chapter 407. So like I said earlier, it's a short flashback chapter, focusing on the literal origin story of Mr. Demon Lord, all the way towards the part with Gearshift running away with the first OFA user, in which will probably then lead to what's shown in this little scene back in chapter 369. Anyways, as a whole chapter 407 by itself is pretty simple, with 50% of it just being things we already know, while the other 50% are just minor world building additions. And in terms of randable stuff, there's nothing much to really rant about. Although there's one major thing I noticed in this chapter. Mr. Demon Lord is literally born evil. I mean come on, right from the start he's literally already able to think that the world belongs to him, as well as claim his twin brother as his property. He's also able to already correctly use his spear-like bones quirk, either as claws to help him grab onto things, or as fangs to help him feed. And lastly, he's also somehow able to survive despite his first food being the decaying corpse of his dead mother. So yeah, as you can see, this thing is clearly not normal. It's a real demon baby. Even though it's literally just been born an hour ago, it seems to already have innate knowledge on some things, all including the technical aspects on how to raise another far smaller and weaker baby. What the hell? Okay, now of course all this raises the obvious question of, why is Mr. Demon Lord like this as a baby? Why is he acting extremely weird? It's like he's being controlled by something. What the hell is going on? This could only mean one thing. Mr. Demon Lord as a baby is being affected by the AFO quirk. That's it. Well actually it's kinda obvious after all. The creator didn't really try to cover it up in any way that the baby is being affected by an evil quirk, which then continued to influence it all the way as it grew up. Okay. Now with this reveal that Mr. Demon Lord's evilness is just a side effect of his AFO quirk, and he's not actually just a perfectly normal idiot that got inspired by comic book villains. So does this mean that the manga will now try to save him as well? Is he going to be forgiven now just like the 3 mass murdering morons? Well actually no. As what I could see in this chapter, Mr. Demon Lord will not be saved and forgiven despite him having the same quirk related behavioral issues like Libra. I mean just look at how chapter 407 is structured. Notice how the sob story potential moments are just quickly skipped and glossed over with barely any real focus to them. Not to mention said moments are stamped with random deaths and murder, as if to make people care about them even less. And not only these, also notice how baby Demon Lord had no crying scenes at all, and he's just drawn consistently ugly and creepy looking. So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty clear that this chapter is not meant to convince readers to feel bad for Mr. Demon Lord. If anything, this chapter's more in line with setting up the upcoming story with Gearshift, which more or less fits with the ending of the previous chapter being also gear shift related as well. And now as for the topic of Mr. Demon Lord not going to be saved despite him having the same quirk issues as with this idiot, and possibly even worse. Yeah, it's completely unfair. But then again, I'd rather just see the Demon Lord get the consequences of his actions, rather than the plot once more making up insane bullshit just to try and justify his stupid crimes. I mean, we already have 3 mass murdering morons being justified by the plot. We don't need another one. Okay. So that's pretty much all I could say about Mr. Demon Lord on this chapter. And since there's still time, I'm now gonna talk about some stuff on his fraternal twin brother. Because while yes he just turned out relatively normal, but he also has some strange stuff about him. First off, he could somehow remember some things within the first hour of his birth, for some weird reason. Second, he's somehow not influenced at all by Mr. Demon Lord's evil ways despite him just clinging to his bigger brother all throughout his life. He just somehow stayed as a hero-inspired goody two-shoes. I dunno. Third, over here he's somehow wearing an actual shirt and shorts, while his big brother's just wearing a trash bag shaped like a dress. And fourth, despite him being fraternal twins with Mr. Demon Lord, he somehow has no resemblance to his big brother at all beyond the white hair. In fact, he literally just looks exactly like Big Freeze, while his big brother is drawn in a unique Western comic design that gave him a very distinct look that's closer to the American characters than the Japanese ones. So yeah, all in all the smaller brother clearly also has some weird stuff about him. But unfortunately, going by the creator's habit of just speedrunning through the finale, I doubt any of these will ever be explained. All 4 of these will very likely just remain a mystery till the end of the manga. Okay, now with all that said, rant over. Okay, I'm done. Oh hey guys, by the way, did you also notice in the previous chapter how there's no more pool of blood under Marksman? I mean, back in chapter 379 there's clearly a pool of blood down there, but now it's gone, with no traces of it anywhere. Where did the blood go? Did she suck it all back up? Is that also the reason why she seems better now? Hey, are you even listening?
No.